Vikings. down low in the post. So that'll be a foul on the Vikings. Not a shooting foul, so they'll be inbounding it. And they find, trying to get it down low to Steele. Nice little curl cut. Finds Considine. Considine, tough drive. Hounded, Steele, baseline drive, short off, in and out. Wow, that could have gone 99 out of 100 times that goes in, but that one time it didn't. Gunnar Nortman trying to go baseline. Gets it into Charlie Fish. Maybe had a wide open layup. Instead, Travis Classy will take it himself and put it in for 2. And put the Vikings up 10-7. 11:53 left in the first half. Your Vikings leading by 3. We should have all the technological difficulties fixed as of right now. Our fantastic Carter Kuhn is fixed as Considine rises for a little short-range jumper. That is off no good. Brett Walker with the rebound, backs to Considine. Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you, sir.
Considine kicks it out to Paul, who will skip pass it over to Ikeson. Ikeson will elevate for a jumper. Bank is open for Considine. He banks it all in.
I did not know the bank is open this late on Friday night.
I didn't hear him call it either, so Charlie Fish, a very talented sophomore, guarded by Steele. Nortman had an open baseline. Instead, elects to kick it out as Fish. They're going to try to skip pass it to Ziegler. He'll elevate for 3. That looked on from here. It didn't take until a couple seconds later that it looked off, but instead the Vikings finally get the ball back after a little carom off of a Portage player. Ziegler going to try again from that spot, and it rattles in. A little toilet bowl 3-point shot, as I call it. And
Stephen Curry Ziegler for 3.
Stephen Curry Ziegler for 3. And we got 10:33 left in the first half. As Steele guarded by Classy. A little jump shot is blocked by Classy. Had an open Classy streaking down. Gets it to Fish. Ooh, Ziegler's open for 3. Little shot fake baseline drive. Gets it to Nortman. Tough baseline. Tough drive. Gets it back to Ziegler. He'll elevate for 3 again. And it's short, no good. Tip up, rebound by Travis Classy. He'll go tough to the hole. And his shot is up and good. Vikings up 15-9.
Just a shade under 10 minutes
Just
left
a shade under 10 minutes, and the Portage Warriors will take a timeout. Man, Dan, we got to just be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. But right now, very similar to last week, the Vikings starting off a little slow and then getting it back into gear, and they have a 6-point lead as of right now, and they're going to need to just keep trying to pile it on right now. That Craig Steele guy, every time I see him on the court, kind of gives me a little nightmares because he is an absolute beast down low post. He and Eli Considine and Nolan Paul are all big 6'4" guys who can put it on the deck and put it right to the hole and get them easy baskets. So Vikings, good job bottling them up so far, and Portage coach is trying to get them involved here as a newly checked in Nick Anderson will check in for as point guard as Nolan Paul get it in to number 10, Brett Walker. So Steele gets it back to Considine, to Anderson. Anderson trying to get it down low. Malik Winston, new checked in, so Coach Nussheim going deep into his bench today. Steele gets it back to Anderson, maybe a 3-point threat. They're playing him like it. Gets it back to Walker, back to Steele, back to Anderson. Man, this is a pretty crazy sequence. Steele guarded by Nortman. Wow, the Vikings defense playing lights out right now. Steele got a matchup he wants. Owen Ziegler, a much different height advantage. Gets it down low to ball maybe caromed off of Walker, but finds his way to Dustin Zenz. Dustin Zenz.
I believe Steele was first team all conference last season, but do not quote me on that, folks.
Owen Ziegler, nice little baseline, little open, nice little hesitation, go up to the hole. No good. They call it travel, so a little tough position Owen Ziegler was put in, and he gets called for the travel.
Looks like it might have been a jump ball, but either way, it'd be Portage ball, regardless if it was a travel call or a jump ball.
So this is a little bit of that guard/forward that we've seen out of Steele. Walker gets it into Steele, and wow, what a really awkward pass that looked by Dustin Zenz. And Steele finds himself open for 3, and that looked way long to start, and Gunnar Nortman tries to find the rebound and finally gets back to the running back, Malik Winston.
Great basketball play there to slow it down by Winston.
Gunnar Nortman, little baseline drive, passes it to the wrong guy.
Little scoring drought on both sides of the ball.
Little turnover prone past couple minutes for the Vikings. Portage got Walker to steal to Anderson. Trying to get it down low to Considine, one of those 6'4" guys. Steal, little baseline, man, that was pretty.
Almost the Kobe Bryant-esque fadeaway there. Off of 1 foot, fading away, and nothing but the bottom of the net.
Number 20, Nolan Paul. Pardon me, I keep mixing him up with Walker. And Nolan Paul guarding Owen Ziegler, so a little matchup there for the Viking that will be favorable. Owen Ziegler, they know he's a three-point threat. They don't want to get it to him. A little late box out by Walker as a tough drive to the hole, and it's flipped up and in by Dustin Zenz.
Great job there for the smaller point guard, getting around the outstretched arm of his defender.
We got Walker back to steal. Gets it to Anderson. Back over to Considine. They look like they're trying to get it to Paul down low in the post, one of those 6'4" guys, like I said. Gets it to Walker for three, and that was pure. So by Brett Walker, Coach Ryan Kleppe misspoke on the loudspeaker, not Paul Walker, but Brett Walker as Gunnar Nortman. Tough drive, nice little hesitation move. Floater is up and good.
Great behind the back move into a crossover to get by his defender who had no idea where Nortman was heading.
Wow, as we got Paul skip pass over to Considine, guarded by Charlie Fish, two number 22s guarding each other. Dustin Zenz guarding Walker. Steal, guarded by, got a height advantage over Gunnar Nortman, but picks up his dribble to Anderson, guarded by Malik Winston. Good job not giving up an inch on defense. Gets it down low to Paul, excuse me. Nolan Paul gets it over to Considine. His three-point shot was off, and they're calling a foul. So we'll have three substitutions in for Owen Ziegler, Dustin Zenz, and Gunnar Nortman. Excuse me, folks. Something got caught in my throat there. So, and Malik Winston will check out as Travis Glassy comes back in. So, three of the five starters are in the game. Bryce Farnsworth,
Logan Rasmussen, and Charlie Fish are the two that are not.
Skip pass in. Charlie Fish putting a little pressure on Considine there. Little pass over to number 24, Matthew Miles. Checked in the game. And they call a travel. So good call by the referees here.
Now is one of those times where the Vikings need to capitalize on this possession and make it either a 21-14 lead, lead by a touchdown.
Rasmussen gets the ball into Farnsworth. You don't often see a 5'10", 5'11" guy get it into a 6'3" guy. But nevertheless, Farnsworth gets it over to Charlie Fish. Nice little spin move. Very athletic player in Charlie Fish. Does a couple pirouettes on the baseline, does Charlie Fish.
How do you spell that, Will?
Pirouette, P-R-R-O-W-E-T. That is absolutely not even close to being correct, Dan. And a timeout called by Coach Nessheim. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Oh, I forgot to turn on my mic there for a second. And your Vikings lead it by 5, 19-14 with 5:43 left in the first half. So far, a very low-scoring games. I mean, in the idea of the Vikings averaging about 53 points a game. Sorry, just got a little word back from our little studio help in Blaine Bestel. Also, I've got later during halftime, I have something really cool I'll tell you guys.
Keeping us in suspense, Will.
Keeping you in suspense. Actually, don't get too hung up. As an athletic finish by Charlie Fish.
Charlie Fish with the bucket, and your Vikings lead by a touchdown, 21-14 on a Friday night, coincidentally.
Showing that he wants some more playing time here on varsity as Considine. Nice little pick by Miles. Tough down low shot by Steele, I believe, is blocked, I think, by Logan Rasmussen. Little kick out to Jason Larson. Back to Logan Rasmussen to Larson. They're guarding Farnsworth tough because they know he is a three-point threat. As Rasmussen hit the deck, gets it to Farnsworth, top of the key, and Charlie Fish, little crossover move, tries to get himself open. Jason Larson had a little sunlight there, gets it blocked by Steele, and Logan Rasmussen's shot is up no good, but Bryce Farnsworth there to clean up the mess and puts the bucket in for the Vikings. And a timeout will be called. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. 23-14, 4:38 left in the first half. Your Vikings are on a roll. Don't tune away, folks. We got a great one for you. And man, sorry folks, we had a little bit of a delayed break there as the score is now 28-20 as Constantine on the steal, go coast to coast. Shot is up, no good. Rebound, and gets it over to Walker, back to Steele. He'll jack it up for three, and that shot is short, no good. But number 4, Eikenson, had absolutely nowhere to go. Surrounded by 4 Vikings as Bryce Farnsworth over break. He nailed a straightaway three-pointer, and man, he looked hyped about it. He got himself all pumped up as Travis Glassy, tough drive, poked away, and nice athletic play by Steele to get the ball back. Travis Glassy goes airborne, shot is up, no good, but a foul. So Glassy will be at the free throw line. Vikings with an 8-point lead. 1:50 left in the first half.
It looks like the Vikings are almost letting Steele shoot from 3. Doesn't look like he's the best of three-point shooters, so it might be a wise choice for the Vikings to let him shoot.
Glassy rattles home a free throw. Dan, that's a great point. Steele, that's probably about one of his weak spots is three-point shooting, and he's still pretty darn good at it. So the Vikings
shows you the all-around player he is.
He's one of the all-around players. As Glassy goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
30-20 lead with 1:46 and counting left in your first half.
30-20, like you said, Dan, a 10-point lead. Vikings know all about having a 10-point lead. Nice pick by Bryce Farnsworth. Goes up ahead and lay in, no good, but a foul. And Bryce Farnsworth, he is, my buddy there, is getting a little, I love it, getting emotional, and he is.
It looked like he almost could have dunked that if he had a couple more inches.
Couple more inches, a couple more inches on his vert. Maybe, and Bryce Farnsworth's first free throw is short, no good.
Uncharacteristic miss for Farnsworth.
Like you said, an absolutely uncharacteristic miss by Bryce Farnsworth. His second free throw shot adjustment is made and pure.
Nothing but twine, as me and my pops like to say.
So great little adjustment there by Bryce Farnsworth. And tough little defense, gets it down low to Paul. The ball is tipped up in the air. Paul has it back, gets it to Considine, over to Eikenson, who gets it over to Walker. Back to Paul. Paul, guarded by Glassy, looks for a screen against Eikenson. Kicks it out to Walker, and it'll carry him out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball with 1:10 left in the first half. Bryce Farnsworth looking to inbound it here to Dustin Zenz. Man, this crowd is getting into it now, Dan. Vikings playing with an 11-point lead as Dusty Zenz, as Coach Ryan Kleppe says, will march it across the floor. Zenz gets it to Farnsworth. Tough little lob pass, gets it down low. Nice fight by Travis Glassy, and he throws it up and in. And when I say fight, he was in a chip there. He was surrounded by 3 Portage players, and he still found a way to get that to go. Steele, guarded by Glassy, tried to get a little poke away. Steele going baseline, and they call a travel. Fantastic call there.
Jason Larson looks like he was going on a little slip and slide. Slid about 5-10 feet.
Not Jason Larson, Steele, you mean, Dan?
Larson slid too.
Larson slid, but maybe a little slippery spot there that they're going to have to a little wipe down at halftime. A little cleanup crew here as Zenzo trotted across the court, gets it over to Bryce Farnsworth, and it looks like the Vikings will try to just play for the last shot here in the first half, as Paul is not going to give up any space to Farnsworth because you know that they're going to try to get him the three-point shot at half. Nortman drive, kicks it out to Farnsworth, wide open 3, and that's his shot, and it's good!
36-20 with 8 seconds left in your first half. A steal by Glassy.
Thumbs up.
Going to
Portage.
Darn near said DeForest, Will.
Darn near said DeForest indeed. Sorry if I got a little excited there and blew out your ears, but that was just a fantastic shot. And from here, we knew it was in all the way, and it's a great sign to see Bryce Farnsworth lighting it up for 3. 5 seconds left in the first half.
Length of the court in 5 seconds is not an easy task, but it can be done.
Gets it to Constantine. They'll look like he'll just try to make a half-court heave. Gets it over to Walker. His three-point shot is short, no good. So the Vikings will go in the half with a 16-point lead. Your score is 36-20. Vikings. We'll take a quick break, come back with some halftime analysis.
And some entertainment from, looks like, Forte Studios.
And some entertainment from Forte Studios. Dan will do his best play-by-play and dancing. So we've had a great game so far, and we'll have an even better halftime report. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. As our partner in crime, Bryce Hopwood, would say. We'll be right back. Sorry, folks, for the delay as the Forte Studios dance students take the center stage tonight because they're going to show off their dance moves I really wish I could do. They always get taught extremely well at Forte Studios, and I have absolutely no idea why I turned on Dan's mic because he's not even here. Folks, he's going to take care of business as we got some happy little fans out there in the crowd dancing. I'm going to call him Mr. Green Jacket because he is getting hyped. Little dance moves going in there. Some halftime analysis here. The Vikings lead 16 at half, 8:58 left in halftime. But some small adjustments, if they had to make any at half, would be probably just, I mean, they've been playing solid defense, just more guarding Steele because he's kind of had his way down low in the post. And there's really not much the Vikings can do about that because he's such a solid player. And once he gets down there, he'll just dominate over just about anybody. And, man, they are just, a lot of those moves just look unnatural on the dance floor. But, man, I could not see myself doing that. Nevertheless, I don't know why I got that off topic. Like I said in the pregame show, I get off topic a lot, and it looks like our very own Carter Kuhn, who I believe goes to Forte Studios for acting, is doing the camera, trying to get a good shot of this dancing here. And when Dan gets up here, I'm going to try to make him do some play-by-play and dancing as they do a little, I have no idea what you would call that. I'm going to say that's a little bit of a corkscrew tornado or something, as our very own Dan Lands just went to fill up his water bottle because, I mean, I agree with that. He'll be parched. He'll be right back. He mouths to me, and they're doing, oh, my goodness, I am getting dizzy looking at that. Oh, gosh. And the splits. There's a little play-by-play for you in dancing, and that made me ache in some certain areas in my body watching them do the splits. As I have no idea what you call these. The older dancers take the floor, or the more experienced dancers. I don't want to say older because whenever I say older, that usually may be considered an insult. But your Vikings, with a 16-point lead at a half, playing an extremely solid first half, with Bryce Farnes just lighting it up from just about everywhere on the court. A couple of three-pointers at the end of the first half, and he is getting his team all pumped up, and rightfully so. He should get them pumped up because this Vikings team has played, I think, only this well once this entire season. And I think that was the very first game against Blackhawk, and they're showing more stardom here as I welcome back Dan up here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly is back.
Broadcast table. And Dan, I told you at break that I'll give you a chance to do some play-by-play of this dancing here. And here's your opportunity. Go ahead.
I'm going to have to pass up on the opportunity, Will.
Pass up on an opportunity.
I don't have the first idea about anything in dancing.
Well, you can always start off by they're moving. That's always a good start.
They're moving.
They're moving again. They're moving. Oh, look at that.
They're moving some more.
They're moving faster.
Oh, I love this, Will. Anyway, let's get to some things we noticed in the first half. Some things
from basketball. I mean, I've said many games this year, the first to 50 will win, and the Vikings right now look like they're on pace to almost 70 points if they continue, putting up 36 in each half. But, I mean, there's not much I want to take as a negative that the Vikings did this half. Oh, my goodness, they're doing the splits, and that just...
That hurts to watch, Will.
That hurts to watch. But... Dan, there's not much I would say to critique that they could do much better. Anything but, maybe some more transition buckets, I would say. That'd maybe be the only thing I would critique. And that's just a small thing because they've played lights out this entire game. Their defense has been absolutely amazing on Craig Steele, the all-conference player last year, who was having his way early, but the Vikings just shut him down. And Nessie's Nuthouse cheering loud and proud for the Forte Studios dance team. And I hope Carter Kuhn got all of that on camera You got all of that on camera, buddy? Yeah, he says a good nod. So a little shout out to all those Forte Studio dancers. Way to put on a great
That was
halftime.
me once upon a time, well, believe it or not.
You were a dancer.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I feel bad for whoever had to dance with you. Just kidding, Dan.
Ouchie, wow, wow.
But as your Mount Horeb Vikings will take the court for their little halftime warm-up, Dan. I mean, like I said, there's not much to critique here because they played such a solid first half. I would say, I mean, they were put in a similar situation to this against Defo, so my guess is play solid defense to start the second half and do not let them get into a very good run, because we've seen this 3 6'4" guys on their starting lineup, and they know how to use them. So if the Vikings give up a quick run, let's say a 10-0 run, which we're all too familiar with, then they could be in trouble. But that's something they'll need to eliminate, and if they do so, they can come away with the W tonight.
Little side note, sorry for the little distraction, guys, but the Bucks are down 9 at the end of the first quarter, 36-27 to the Golden State Warriors. So
yeah, that's okay. Let's keep them informed on Mount Horeb basketball right now, Dan. As much as we love the Bucks, let's keep them informed with Moho Vikings basketball.
not a shabby idea.
3:07 left in halftime. I'm running out of things to say. We'll come back with some more analysis and what the Vikings need to do better. We've got a fantastic one. We got a fantastic one brewing, fantastic second half. And don't tune away, folks. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to Wisco Radio and Mount Horeb High School. I don't know if this gym has a name yet. We really should give it one. Let's call it the Mount Horeb Vikings. Vikings? No, that's bad. That just doesn't sound right. Whatever, we'll come up with names.
Nessheim Nation.
Nessheim Nation. No, we already got Nessie's Nut House.
Oh.
We don't need anything else. But we got 1:36 left in halftime. The Vikings will look to come out and extend that lead to more than 16. But right now, they have been playing some solid basketball. I don't want to say, I think they've missed one three-point shot right now. But other than that, they've been absolutely lights out and some great free throw shooting as well. Good transition buckets, fantastic defense, and just need to improve on all of that, make it even better, make it not great but fantastic.
Make it squeaky shiny.
Squeaky shiny clean. And okay, one other thing, if I had to nitpick that, was the turnovers. There was one little 3-minute period where they had a bunch of turnovers in like the span of, like I said, 3 minutes. So they're going to need to clean that up. They want to come away with a W tonight. But we're 46 seconds away from the second half here as your Mount Horeb Vikings look to try to get to 8-2 and back in contention to first place in the Badger North Conference.
So with this game, assuming we hold on to the 16-point lead.
And I don't want to jinx it as of right now, Dan, because in Defo, we were talking about holding on to a 10-point lead, and we saw what happened there.
Anyway, would this get us to sole second place?
I would say yes.
Because I believe us and Portage are tied for second.
Right now, yes, we're tied for second because of the 2 losses. I believe Portage has more. I believe they are 8-2. Do not quote me on that. I believe they're 8-2. As Bryce Farnsworth will inbound it to Dustin Zenz, and a crazy little mic situation, maybe a ghost, invaded Mount Horeb High School. But Travis Classy guarded tough as Gunnar Nortman sets a pick for Dustin Zenz. A little tough floater to the rim is up and in. And that's how we start the scoring of the second half. A little floater by Dusty Zenz. as Ikeson gets it to Garrison, back to Paul, over to Garrison, down low to Constantine, trying to get it to Steele. Steele, they know, is an absolute beast in the post, but they elect not to get it to it. Ikeson elevates for a tough shot off the back iron, no good.
Streaking Bryce Farnsworth in the left corner.
Streaking Bryce Farnsworth in the left corner, and Paul is electing to play off him a little bit. Dusty Zenz with some nifty little footwork there. Zenz bounce pass to Jason Larson. That looked a little ugly, bounce pass there. Larson, I don't know if he was trying to lob it into the base, the post, as Larson gets it to Zenz. Nice little hesitation move, little wraparound, gets it to Larson, gets it to Farnsworth for a 3 shot, is short, no good. Dan was already getting his celebration because that looked straight away from here. Instead, the lead stays at 18.
38-20, just about a minute and a half into the second half.
Man, Steele is calling for that ball. He's guarded by Classy. A little spin move, tough shot up, no good, but a foul. So Steele will be at the free throw line, and man, Dan, when he got that ball, wow, was that something to watch, because he just had his way.
I don't want to say the Vikings don't have an answer for him, but he's almost seemingly gotten most of Portage's points.
As his first free throw is good.
So I don't think it would be too shabby of an idea to double team him down low, but then he could just kick it out for a wide open 3.
I mean, yeah, I agree 100% with that, Dan. So Steele goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line, showing that versatility he has all over the place. Shooting free throws, 3-pointers, little jump shots, as Dusty Zenz will get it to Bryce Farnsworth. Nice back cut by Jason Larson to clear out. And like I said, a turnover at half is something the Vikings needed to minimize. Minimize. I have no idea. Minimalize.
Is that a word?
No, absolutely not.
It is not, Will.
As Paul, guarded by Nortman, tough guard as Garrison. Gets it to Steele. Steele over to Ikeson. Nice little shot fake got. Classy airborne. Gets it back to Garrison for 3. Short, no good. Rebound by Jason Larson. Had a wide open Bryce Farnsworth streaking. But Classy will kick it out to Farnsworth. He'll set his feet, and a little too late. Steele had a good job getting a closeout. And Classy looking to get things skip pass over to Larson. Nice little baseline drive. And the ball is poked away and in the hands of Ikeson. Nice little coast-to-coast move, no good. Rebound by Constantine, and his putback is no good.
Has Larson scored today?
Oh, they call a charge, and a good call at that was because the defender got his feet set, and Travis Classy just a little too fast, ran right into the player. Right, I didn't quite see the number who it was, just ran right into him, pushed him over, and easy call for referees.
Has Larson scored yet today? I don't feel like we've called his name. Maybe once?
I think, yeah, he was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. So Constantine will march it across the floor. And Steele just trying to get the ball to him because he's been being an absolute stud. Gets back to Paul, not Constantine. Steele gets it back to Constantine now. Tough drive by Constantine. Floaters up, off the rim, no good. Rebound by Dustin Zenz. Dustin looking to push it. Little tough drive, left hand up and good.
Great mid-air switch of the shot. Not an easy finish with the left hand if you're a righty, especially with the defender leaping into the air with you.
Not an easy play at all as Ikeson gets it back to Garrison. Garrison hounded by Charlie Fish. Bryce Farnsworth down low with Paul. Paul has his highs advantage. He takes it right at him and gets it back to Ikeson. Kicks it out to Constantine. His shot was an air ball, but corralled by Steele and put up and in.
Do you think the stat keepers will give him an assist for that? It looked darn near like a pass to me.
Well, tough drive by Charlie Fish, no good, but he's fouled, so he'll be at the free throw line shooting 2. 2 free baskets, as I say, from the Vikings without any time ticking off. So one thing I like to point out here is ESPN Wisconsin said an air ball turned out to an assist. And that is one little funny stat I have never heard is Charlie Fish's uncharacteristic uncharacteristically misses a free throw as number 10, Brett Walker will check in.
40-24, your Mount Horeb Vikings in the lead with 14:09 left in the ball game.
Charlie Fish goes 0 of 2 from the free throw line. And Bryce Farnsworth, what an amazingly athletic play. Just, I mean,
interesting sequence.
Paul tried to throw it off of Farnsworth. Farnsworth took the ball and threw it right back at him.
Never seen that before in my 16 and a half years of watching basketball.
So Bryce Farnsworth, man, he is playing with some heart tonight. After having a little bit of a slow game, Dusty Zenz gets it into Gunnar Nortman, sizing up Steele. And Nortman goes straight at him. His shot is just a little too strong, no good. And Nortman got decked by Paul, and good job. Usually he'd get up and be mad about that, and he has all the right to, but he controls himself and keeps playing. Nortman goes under the screen as Steele's three-point shot is money.
I feel like that's the first three he's made tonight. 40-27 Vikings with 13:37 and ticking in the game.
Farnsworth guarded by Paul, calling for that screen. He wants to take that three-point shot because he knows he's been money. Do a little pick on Walker there, gets it over to Larson, guarded by Steele. So thought about getting it to the baseline cutter, Charlie Fish, instead. Well, he does get it to Charlie Fish. Kicks it out to Bryce Farnsworth. Thought about the three. He'll take the drive to the hole. Chuff, no good. Gets his own rebound. Gets it back to Jason Larson. Thought about a three. He'll drive his own. Little floaters up. No good. Rebound by Jason. Oh, tapped up in the air. Corralled. I have no idea by who it was off of, to be honest. But they say it'll be Portage Warrior ball with 13:03 left and the inbound to Steele. Steele, who's had a solid, I think he's scored all of his team's points to start the second half. Steele gets to Walker, hounded by Dustin Zenz. Gets it back to Steele, guarded by Nortman. Charlie Fish guarding Garrison as Considine will try to baseline drive. He'll elevate for a little jumper. Rebound no good. Back out to Garrison, who gets it out to Walker. A little desperation three. Just shoved it up. No good. Gunnar Nortman, tough drive to the hole is up and good. And your lead for your Vikings is a 42-27 lead.
Solid 15-point lead for the Vikings with a shade over 12 minutes
Ooh,
left.
Almost picked that off, did Charlie Fish. Showing off his football. Because I remember saying that a lot with our own Cade Johnson, saying a little interception by Charlie Fish. As Owen Ziegler will check in for Bryce Farnsworth. And he'll get a round of applause for his great job performance here, as Anderson will check in for the Warriors, and he has the ball right now, guarded by Owen Ziegler, who fresh check in. Walker over to Steele, gets it to Considine, over to Garrison. Garrison gets it to Steele. Steele gets it to Considine, almost went out of bounds. Good job by the referee getting out of the way. Gets down low to Anderson, little good position for him, and he puts it up and in. Not the ideal man to have down in the post, but he had amazing position. He'll flip it up and in for 2 points. And it's now a 42-29 lead, 11:40 left in the second half. Zenz over to Fish. Fish back to Zenz, kick it over to Ziegler. They know he's a three-point threat, and they don't want him to have a little low pass for Charlie Fish, and he corralled it. Gets it back to Ziegler. Back to Zenz. Zenz to Larson. A cut by Dustin Zenz. Larson tried to do a baseline
Great
move.
back cut by Ziegler.
Hounded by Steele. Nortman, tough shot, no good, but a foul. So he'll be at the free throw line, shooting two.
Great back cut by Ziegler, and then a great find to Nortman. Just great ball movement and finding the open man. A
great back cut, but even better defense by the Warriors, just surrounding him, not allowing an easy shot, as Nortman's first shot is good. 43-29, your Viking lead is now, I can't do that math in my head, I'll leave that up to Dan. Nortman's second free throw is up, short, no good, rebound, and they call a reach in on Dusty Zenz. So
15 points, Will. 14 points.
14 points. I thought about that, but I didn't want to say it and get embarrassed on the air, so you know. there's that.
I was counting on Nortman to make the second free throw to make it a 15-point game.
You jinxed him, Dan. Way to go.
Sorry, Will.
So Steele will trot it across the floor. Nice little pick by Walker, and the ball will be, wide open, Jason Larson. And, oh, my goodness. Are they going to say a dunk for that? I don't quite know if that was, but I'll take it. Jason Larson went airborne and got a little lucky and jammed it home.
One more inch, and that would have been an easy dunk. But
I'll say it was a dunk, Dan.
I think the student section will too, based on their reaction.
It wasn't the prettiest dunk, but
kind of like Mitch Ryan last year. I'm not sure if you were with Wisco when that happened, but
at the time, I think I was getting things set out to be part of the team, but I wasn't at that game.
I remember I was just going crazy when that happened.
But I think I remember Mitch Ryan. He clearly got the ball in the hoop when he dunked it, and Jason Larson, a little favorable bounce there, but he'll take the dunk all much he can. Not many people in high school basketball here in Wisconsin can say that they've dunked, unless you're Diamond Stone, maybe.
Or Isaiah LeSure.
Oh, Isaiah LeSure. So Constantine will go 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Back to a 14-point lead, 45-31 with 10.5 minutes left.
Dan, you stole my little routine, but I'm glad you said it instead of me.
I can read minds. Well, that's a attribute not many people know I have.
So I'm still hyped up about that slam and jam we had over there. So Bryce Farnsworth found Owen Ziegler, gets it back to Farnsworth. He thought about elevating for three. Instead, he'll try a little baseline move. But Ziegler will kick it out to Zen's little skip pass over to Charlie Fish. Tough drive, athletic lay-in off, no good, short, and rebound by Constantine. He'll look to push. He does not have numbers, 1-on-3, 1-on-5. He'll take a jump, step back three, and it's good.
It looks like if one of the Vikings passed it to Ziegler just half a second earlier, Ziegler would have had a wide open three.
So Fish over to Farnsworth, a little shot fake, step back. Off no good, turnover, corralled, back up to Walker. Ziegler didn't look, could have had a block, and Coach Nessheim called his timeout. I was about to say he's going to need one, and it's down to a 9-point lead for the Vikings. What'd they say, a full timeout? We'll take a full timeout. Don't tune away, folks. We have an amazing game so far, and we should have an amazing finish. Welcome back here to Mount Horeb High School and Wisco Radio, as music is getting this arena a little lively here. We got a game here, folks. Just in the blink of an eye, it went from a 15-point lead down to a 9-point lead for the Vikings. And
I bet the whole gym is still hyped up about the Larson dunk, we'll call it.
We'll call it a dunk-ish. It was a dunk-ish.
A dunkish?
A dunkish.
I like that.
Zen's tough little drive, maybe got away with the travel. Instead, Steele will corral the ball, and a little behind the back, gets it over to Walker. He'll jack up a three. That was way short, no
Looks
good.
Like it almost could have got stuck, excuse me.
Almost could have got stuck. Charlie Fish will kick it out, and he'll turn it over. Coach Nessheim will pull him out right away. Whenever I see somebody give a turnover on a offensive possession, I always look over to Coach Nessheim because I know he's going to pull him out right away. As Gunnar Nortman will look to check back in. Walker gets it into Anderson. Check back in. Back to Walker. Trying to get it to Steele because he's been having his way. They do get it to Steele. They tried to double team him. Now they will. And looked how effective that was. And he goes up. No good. But a foul. Dan, we said that they would have to double team him for anything to work. They did. Look what happened.
It looked like Ziegler was trying to bring the double team and then backed off. So, interesting decision.
Portage a chance to cut the lead down to 7 here. The steal at the free throw line. His first, that looked short from the beginning, and it is no good.
Free throw's a key thing if Portage wants to cut into his 9-point lead.
Like you said, Dan, free throws are huge if they want to cut into this lead.
Student section chanting Steele's first name, Craig, and didn't work.
Didn't work as Craig Steele makes 1 of 2 to cut this lead down to 8. Oh, no, geez. Yep, 8. Farnsworth, little baseline drive. Good job by the Portage defense stopping it classy. Height advantage over the smaller Ikeson, and he takes advantage and puts it in.
Great job slamming on the brakes there and hitting tough little floater / fadeaway type shot. Makes a make.
Ikeson to Anderson, over to Constantine. Ooh, tried to get Walker down low, who was open for a moment. Constantine over to Anderson to Steele. Steele trying to make his way down. Gets it back to Anderson. Kicks it out to Constantine. Good job by Classy. Poked it away for the moment, but Constantine gets it over to Walker. Walker back to Constantine. Over to Ikeson. Cool drive. Elevates. Shot long. No good. Rebound by Gunnar Nortman. That's what I like. A two-handed rebound. Coach Nessheim got after him a little bit. I saw on about a one-handed rebound. And ooh, nice little athletic move. Denied by Craig Steele. And they'll call a foul
on Isaacson, I believe. Yes,
Ikeson.
Second foul of the game for Isaacson.
Ikeson, actually, Dan. I know, it's a hard last name to pronounce.
It says Isaacson in the program.
Isaacson, it does?
I don't know. I'm just reading what the Portage Warriors put in their program.
You know what? It could be Isaacson for all this time, and I've just been messing it up. So we'll say Isaacson. I apologize for saying Ikeson. I have no idea why I said that. So Gunnar Nortman will look to get the offense set here.
I forgive you, Will.
Thank you.
No problemo.
As Gunnar Nortman's shot is short. Rebound Cairns to Jason Larson. He'll try to post up. He'll try to post up Constantine with a really horrible sounding Coach Kleppy was reaction.
Great post fadeaway, showing off little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar running hook.
Constantine guarded by Larson. Skip pass to Garrison, back to Paul, trying to get it to Steele, who is calling for that ball. Athletic play to get himself from the baseline, and he puts it up and in to narrow this lead down to 10.
Great little Euro step there into about a 6 or 7 foot bank shot.
Nortman, a little behind the back, gets the ball to Farnsworth. Has an open Farnsworth for 3. Tough drive by Gunnar Nortman. Shot no good, but a foul. So he'll be at the line shooting 2. Dan, I mean, we often say that the Vikings need ideally to get these free throws to go, but the fact that they're even getting there is amazing because they've been getting there with ease. As Nortman's first free throw is up and good.
Nothing but the bottom of the net for Nortman, showing off one of his great assets, a good free throw shooter, which any player should have, really.
And my mom just texted me saying, clearly we need to brush up on your math skills. And ooh, that may be true. So Mom, if you're listening, haha, I just shouted you out. Steele, skip pass over to Constantine, down low to Garrison, back to Constantine, gets it back to Garrison, guarded by Farnsworth. Constantine guarded by Larson, little crossover move, kicks it out to Walker. His three-point shot is up and good. So Portage closes the gap to a 9-point lead. You know, a little confusion by the Vikings there offensively. Gets it over. Well, Nortman gets it to Zenz. They're looking like they're trying to set up Farnsworth for a three-point shot. That's been his thing all night. Classy. Skip pass over to Larson, guarded by Steele.
3 seconds, I believe.
3 seconds in the lane, they say. So 5:43 left in the second half. You got a 9-point lead for your Moho Vikings. Down low to Steele, double team, like you said, Dan. Great job getting it out to Constantine. His three-point shot is up and good. Coach Nessheim, or not Coach Nessheim, Portage coach,
Ron
head
Olson.
coach Ron Olson will take a timeout 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 5:28 left in the second half. But we got a game upon us.
As I was saying, great job double teaming Steele, but he's just a great passer. One of his many.
Got a little roller coaster going on in Nessie's Nuthouse. Staying loud and proud, as the banner says. We got a 6-point game, Dan. In the blink of an eye, it was a 14, 15-point lead. Now it's only 6. Showing that this Portage team is for real.
Double teaming Steele is a pro, as I was saying, but one of the cons, he's a great passer, and he found the open man and drilled a 3.
And like we said, Dan, at half, that might be a struggle the Vikings will have to deal with, because like we said, as soon as they double teamed him, he kicked it out for an open 3-point shot and he buried it. So Vikings lead is only 6. Zenz breaks through the defense, kicks it out to Classy. Classy, tough drive to the hole, shot no good. They call it travel. That'll be a Vikings turnover. Coach Nessa he agreed with the ref, and he had a look on his face like, ugh, I am not happy.
Could be a 3-point game here. So little.
Could be a 3-point game if a 3-point shot is up and good. Paul
8-0 run
over to Walker, an 8-0 run, which would be a drastic thing for the Vikings, as Garrison almost got the ball poked away by Dusty Zenz. Gets it down low to Steele. Bad pass. Steele Corrali gets it out to, geez, I keep forgetting his last name. Considine gets it over to Garrison. Down low, man, you can't give him that much space. Nice little wrap up. Oh, he has a wide open. Jason Larson gets it back to Gunnar Nortman. His layup is up and good in transition, so a great bucket for the Vikings, and good job breaking that. What was it, Dan? 8-0 run?
I believe so. No, it's an 8-point lead, 53-45, just under 4.5 minutes left.
Nice little steal by Dusty Zenz, and he'll try to go the full length of the court, lays it up and in.
10-point game now, just in the blink of an eye.
4-point swing for the Vikings there, and they get a 10-point lead once again, as Portage looks to call a timeout. With 4:13 left in the second half.
Full timeout for the Portage Warriors. What do you say we take a break, Will?
A full timeout, they say. We might as well do that, Dan.
We'll be right back.
Like Dan said, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Wisco Radio here. We got a 10-point lead here for the Vikings in the blink of an eye. We got to that, and this student section from Mount Horeb is getting them pretty hyped now, as I saw my man Scotty Hall down there getting the crowd to start dabbing. Dan, I thought the dab,
I'll leave that in 2017, Will.
had passed, but looks like
who knows.
My man Scotty Hall is brought it back. As inbound pass from Paul gets it to Walker. Man, that was it doesn't get any weirder when I keep saying Paul Walker. I have no idea why that name sticks in my head, Dan.
Bad pass stolen by Larson.
Bad pass, like you said, stolen by Larson. It'll be a turnover. Warriors, Vikings ball, looking to extend the lead with 3:51 left in the second half. Larson go over to Classy. Down low to Nortman. Nice little pass. Good job corralling. It goes up, but they call travel call. And that would have been a tough play for Gunner, but unfortunately a turnover. And Vikings
have been traveling.
Nice little steal by Gunnar Nortman. Tries to redeem himself. Little Euro step. Shows the athleticism and lays it up and in. So he redeems himself after the travel.
Just like that, it's a 57-45 game with 3:26 left in the ball game.
So we're not out of a close game here, Dan. It's still a 12-point lead. That can go in the blink of an eye. Bad pass by Isaacson, excuse me. I keep saying Ikeson, but we'll call a jump ball, and it'll be possession arrow favoring the Warriors. They say that is a mistake because the Warriors had the possession in the first half. So we'll get a Geez, I have absolutely no idea why I said that, Dan. We got Warrior ball. 3:04 left in the game. As Garrison, little baseline drive out to steal. He had to adjust. That's a travel all the way. And that would have been an awkward three-point shot. He realized it, pulled it down, and that resulted in a travel.
Not sure if you guys were watching the NCAA championship game last year, Villanova and North Carolina, but it would have been like Marcus Page's shot in the final second.
That was actually 2 years ago, Dan. The last national championship we had was Gonzaga and North Carolina.
That was 2 years ago already?
Yep, 2 years ago. I know, hard to believe. 2 years passes just like that. And I tried to make a snap sound really bad, but my hands are sweaty and it didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry, that may be a little too much information, Dan.
Anyway, it would have been kind of like Marcus Page's shot when he double clutched it and drilled the three.
Too bad they ended up losing. But they rebounded the next year and came with a championship, did North Carolina. Dustin Zenz, little base, they're looking to, I knew that play for a second because it reminds me of when I did freshman year, but I lost it in my head. As Dusty Zen's little crossover move goes right into the middle and floats it, and we got a 14-point lead for your Moho Vikings. A lot of the fans here maybe going out to get some snacks or something because they're going to enjoy. Oh, air ball by Considine. Tried to push it, does Dusty Zenz. Larson will give himself up, but Steele never giving up. The ball poked away and off of White, they say. So it will be Portage ball with 1:56 left. 14-point lead for the Vikings. Looks like they're not going to play too eagerly on defense. They've got a 14-point lead. They're going to try to milk that as long as they can. Steele will walk it up the court.
6'4" point guard, I guess you could say, kind of like Giannis.
6'4" point, except Giannis is not 6'4". He's 6'11". Oh, that almost
tall point guards.
Almost a mistake there, but good job by Flanders elevating and grabbing that ball. As Dustin Zenz gets it over to Travis Classy. He is guarded by, and a turnover by Classy. Gets it over to Garrison. He'll lay it up, no good, but a foul. So he'll be at the free throw line, shooting two.
And it does not look like Nessheim is subbing anybody in for Classy.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me. I know Coach Nessheim's keeping his cool here, but man, that is a surprise. Why didn't he sub somebody?
First free throw's up and money.
Dan, it gets me every time a grown man, I would say, screams. It's just funny. It really is. As Garrison's 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and the full court press is on. Travis Classy gets to Dustin Zenz. Zenz gets it over to Nortman. Nortman back to Zenz. Oh, they'll break. Shoot, they won't break that yet. They need to get it across the line. Trap. Foul on number 4.
Eric Isaacson. That's his third of the game.
Eric Isaacson. Dan, I keep struggling with his name. I have no idea why. It's a long name. I keep thinking of saying Khalil Iverson.
And with 1:10 left, it's a 59-47 game here at Mount Horeb High School. Well, I'm still yet to come up with a new name for this gym.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to think of names and just write it down on a paper. As Paul goes for the steal, and Nortman hits the deck. Nice athletic play by Dusty Zenz. A little one-handed pick, and Considine tried to foul Dusty, but they do, and he'll be at the line shooting two.
Zenz has really proven himself to be a great free throw shooter, especially in clutch situations this year.
That he has, Dan. Regardless of the outcomes of the game, he's always hit very clutch free throws. So, Dusty, he'll be at the free throw line. His first free throw is up and money. So, Dustin will keep that streak of clutch free throws going. And he'll look to go 2 of 2 from the line. Zenz will eye that rim, and he'll throw it up, and a little ricochet romance and he gets that in. So he's 2 for 2 from the line. 47 seconds left, and it's about 14-point lead for the Vikings.
14 indeed, Will.
14 indeed. Ha, take that, Mom. I don't need mass refresher. As Coach Nussheim looked to put in a couple of his bench players, as Gunnar Norton will corral the rebound, and Steele will foul him right away.
Looks like my fellow sophomores Ethan Post and Carter Jokes will get in.
So Stuart Wohler will check in as well, a junior of mine, Beef Stew.
As well as Ayob Urban.
Beef Stew, as we call him. I'm surprised the legendary DP has not made an appearance yet. Man, imagine if DP got a shot in this game. Damn, this place would go nuts. I don't think he wants to hurt that average on the season of 3 points per game, even though he has played in 2 games. So I guess it's that stat. You got a couple JV players in there, in Ethan Post and Carter Jilks.
As well as, I believe that's Ayob Urban.
Ayob Urban, he's a bench player on Varsity. Got some solid playing time last week. Oh, almost over the and a double dribble, and right away, Coach Nussheim. He's a little okay with Ayob getting a little turnover there because we're near the end of this. 23 seconds left, put a bench player, and you kind of expect something like that to happen. As the Portage look to put on their bench as well. As Post guarding Anderson. He's one of the only guys I actually know. His name I actually know. Anderson guarded by Post. Post not giving up an inch. Post. Or Ayob Urban not giving up a shot, and Carter Jokes tries to go for the rebound and a block, but they call a foul. And oh my goodness, look at the time, Dan. We got 0.1 second left in this game.
I believe Ethan Post was telling me as we were walking down to broadcast communications after lunch that he was averaging around 20 points a game on JV.
Averaging 20 points a game on JV, Dan. Imagine next year what a threat he can be. And free throw is up, no good. That's the game, folks. Off of a little crazy sequence there, and your Mount Horeb Vikings pull away the W with a 61-47 win. A all-around amazing game performed by your Vikings.
And I believe this win puts the Vikings in sole
possession of second place, and they'll look to fight for first with the Wanakee Warriors. But right now, we'll keep in mind of this significant win. The Vikings pull it away, 61-47. We'll be back with some post-game analysis of this fantastic game. Don't tune away, folks. We got a great one. We got a great post-game show for you. Your final score is 61-47. Your Vikings improved to 8-2 and 5-1 in the Badger North. 5-1 in the Badger North.
Only loss was to Beaver Dam in Beaver Dam.
And actually, Dan, they've lost last week default. And
so 2 losses, 4-2?
I think so. But I saw on Wisco Sports it said that they only 1 loss in conference, so that may have been not right. So, what a great overall game here. And Dan, we were discussing over break who we should give the player of the game to, and we had to give it to this special player here.
Jason, was it Jason?
It was Jason.
Jason Larson with a dunk-ish.
We decided we'd give it to him because he had somewhat of a dunk. We call it a dunk-ish. Dan, not much more to say other than that. Great all-around performance for the Vikings. I think we'll cut it off here. For Dan Lands, Carter Kuhn, and everybody who's ever been associated with Wisco Radio, I'm Will Harrelson. Dan, you want to do the honors?
Have a great weekend and stay safe.
Stay safe and go Vikings.